Morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Paul K. Dunn, owner advisor at Jay & Sons Cash Flow Advisors, financially empowering our community. Hello, fellow investors. Today's video is going to be directed towards how to Bitcoin. We want to reiterate some of the basics, and we want to go over this in particular for one of my good friends and fellow advisors, Brett Johnson, over at Valley Capital Advisors. Our purpose today really is to give a broad understanding of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin in general, and really educate at the same time as to how it works, why it works, and what you can do to get in the game and have a little bit of fun with this new investment. Where we want to start really is with something we call, or something that's been called Metcalfe's Law. It started around the telecommunication days, and it had to do with the phone systems and the value that it brought by adding people to the network. And in its simplest form, Metcalfe's Law is really just the awareness that the more people that use something, the more valuable that thing becomes. And Metcalfe's Law, being introduced in telecommunication, has expanded exponentially with the launch of the internet and the way we use technology today. Metcalfe's Law creates tremendous value. One great example, besides telephones, because we all know if there was no one on the other end of the telephone, if there was no one on the other end of the line, there would be no value for smartphones today. Same thing goes with the internet. If there were no one receiving the emails, if there were no people willing to actually use the system, there would be no value to it. And what we can take is the expansion of Facebook, Microsoft, and you can see a direct correlation. Some of the richest people in the world today, all they have are services that people use to communicate. And that itself has a value. We can all look at that as being either intrinsic value or non-intrinsic. The emotional connection of being able to talk to a family member without having to drive all the way to their home has an emotional value to people, and what they're willing to pay to do that varies across the board. We have some services that are free. We have services that you have to pay for. But you can look at the simple fact that today, what do you pay to acquire a smartphone? Upwards of $1,000, some as low as $60. And the more capabilities that smartphone has, the more communication channels that it has, the more that it can do, the more the person with it can do. And so at this point, the new paradigm about value has changed from what majority of us know back in the days, especially from the days where Warren Buffett began his investing with a thing called intrinsic value. Even though that's still there, even though intrinsic value still has its meaning, it still has its purpose and its place, what we do know is that something that can generate a large amount of people now can create tremendous value for the person or the people who put that network together. And you know, anywhere from marketing to just having that group in one place and really being able to figure out what that group of people actually wants, that is valuable. So the reason we bring that to your attention is because that has a lot to do with Bitcoin. A lot of people do not understand the value behind Bitcoin and all the other coins. And one piece of the value behind it is the technology that connects to other people regardless of boundary. It doesn't matter which country you are in, I can get you money. And that says something. That is valuable. And that is what essentially Bitcoin, or one part of Bitcoin, is. That's also what cryptocurrency in its whole, that's what it is. It is a piece of technology that creates a network that allows people to be able to connect with each other financially. Okay. The next thing that we want to bring to your attention and have you ask some serious questions about is, what's the difference in the value of coins that collectors have and that they resell to each other? What's the difference between those coins and Bitcoin? The only difference is the amount of money one's willing to pay. Simple. This creation of cryptocurrency and using the word coin is not far-fetched. It's already been done. It's already proven to be highly lucrative. And when you really look behind it and you look at why these coins are valuable, it's valuable due to these coins particularly are valuable because of the lack of circulation. There weren't a lot of them created, and they lasted for a period of time. And over that time frame, it made them more valuable to people who wanted them. Now, if there was no one to pay $6.8 million for that coin, it wouldn't be worth $6.8 million. Period. You can put a number on anything, but if no one's willing to pay it, it's not worth that. And we could clearly say that, what intrinsic value does this coin have besides its story? Is its story really worth $6.8 million to someone? That's where we come with our question of just really think of value in the sense of what people are willing to pay for it. Most of us as investors, we understand that type of correlation between value. And so that's why we bring this story up, because Bitcoin is no different. What people are willing to pay for it and how many people are using it is what's creating its value. That's really all it is. It's what's creating the value at this point. So these things help us to understand the broad sense of what's been created, why they used the word coin. They could have chosen anything, but this is, coin was really specific, and it's been done before. And really, it's being done in a new way. So information from this point, we want to make sure that you're able to educate yourselves on how this is transpiring over time, why it's becoming more valuable and less valuable over time. But at the same time, we want you to be able to see how to take advantage of a market that's really not going anywhere. There's really nothing more valuable at this time than a whole bunch of people using one thing. And that's exactly what this market has. So from here on out, you should have a better understanding of what we're dealing with. Really just use your imagination here and get that clear understanding that there no longer needs to be intrinsic value behind something if you can get a lot of people to use it and believe in it, period. Okay. So another thing that we want to do is just give a specific set of instructions so that we give our opinion and our educated, I would say, our educated opinion. I'm not going to call it advice. Our educated recommendations from this point forward. We believe wholly in Bitcoin and Ethereum. The reason we believe in Bitcoin is because we are, as a group, we are trying to shape Bitcoin as the new gold. So when you see Bitcoin, we want you to understand it as the new gold. Almost like going from the old phones to the smartphones. Bitcoin can do a lot more than gold can do at this point. It's transferable value. You don't have to carry it anymore. Even though physical coins are being made in pure gold, Bitcoin Gold is real. The Bitcoin itself, we want it to be a store of value that people can look at the same way they look at gold and silver. Okay, that's one way we want you to look at it. Ethereum, the reason our belief is behind Ethereum is very specific. It's due to smart contracts, and all a smart contract is artificial intelligence. It allows things to do and execute behind the scenes. Once we program it to do so, it'll follow rules and do exactly what we have it to do, and it's going to take over the way we use business in the financial sector, in the real estate sector, and a lot more business use case scenarios. Ethereum is very important to the way we're evolving forward. So we have a very high belief in both Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we make sure that we have a portion of our Bitcoin and Ethereum that we hold on to for the long term. Okay. The next step really is to understand that there's going to be some things that you need in order to do this effectively, in order to get cryptocurrency effectively, in order to track it effectively, but simply. And so what we want you to do is we want you to create a bookmark. We put all of our stuff in a folder called cryptocurrency. We want you to create a bookmark, and these different places that we're going to send you to, we want you to bookmark those and make sure anytime you create a new password or you start a new account in the cryptocurrency world, you're keeping track of it in a digital notebook, maybe on your computer or on your phone, so that you never lose your logins or your privacy keys that they're going to be issuing you down the track. So the very first one that we go to is called CoinMarketCap. And the reason we come here is because this is where we track the price of our coins. Now there's for many purposes in cryptocurrency, CoinMarketCap is the go-to for many purposes. The main purpose we go to it is because some of our coins that we invest in, we want to know where they are so that we can cash out any profits, and for information on new coins that are coming to the market, news on coins that we hold, and general information about the circulating supply, how much money is going into that coin over 24 hours and things like that. It just shows everything. But the coolest part is understanding, we're gonna go through an understanding of a base coin and an altcoin. And this market is gonna have all of them. Okay, it's gonna have all of them listed. There's no way to tell the difference through here. We have a generalization of coins on this website, and it makes it very easy to click and find out specific information from the main websites of any coin that shows up. You can do a search for any coin, and it will bring you to that coin, and then you can click on information that is publicly listed and directly to that coin that you're looking for. This is how we do research on our coins and keep up with the news and everything that's going on with the coins we invest in. Okay, so at this point, you want to go to coinmarketcap.com, set your bookmark, and make sure that you can get to this at any given time. You will always be able to see the numbers. This is the current cryptocurrency market. It's currently at $518 billion. The 24-hour volume, this is how much money went into cryptocurrency in the last 24 hours. And Bitcoin dominance, because Bitcoin is really the leader in all coins. It's the grandfather of cryptocurrency itself, the first place. So they track the percentage of the market. And right now, Bitcoin is 35.8% of the entire cryptocurrency market. Okay, this pretty much is the basic information that you'll need in order to understand when to make your move, how much your coin is worth, where it's at, and it'll give you some sort of, I would say this is where we find out our action triggers. We pay attention to this chart, and then we move from here. Okay, so once you bookmark that, you're ready to go and start your base account. So what we mean by base coins is any coin that can be transferred into fiat currency is going to be the best way that you understand a base coin. Even though there are other coins that can operate on their own, we feel that if you cannot exchange it back to fiat currency, it's not a base coin. It's not widely used enough to be trusted to change over into fiat currency. So base coins right now, as it stands, are any coins that you will find in your Coinbase account or in your Gemini account. And that is our secondary, that's our secondary moneymaker. As you can see, sometimes these two, so we have Coinbase and we have Gemini. And the reason we use two is because at any given time, this number here for BTC, for Ethereum, can be different. So you see 10805 here, and then Coinbase for Bitcoin 10905. So we look at which one's going to give us more for our money, and then when we're ready to put our money in, this will decide for us which one we upload our money to at that given time. Right? So right now, Coinbase would be the winner. We would, at the 869 versus the 764, we would put our money into Coinbase and buy our Bitcoin right now because it's trading higher here. This is the reason we use two. These are our main two because they're the most trusted, they're the most tried and tested, and they have the biggest form of security behind the two. Okay, so it's up to you whether you want two accounts, but this is why we use the two accounts. Once you start your base account, you're up and running. You can now turn fiat currency into cryptocurrency using a base coin. Okay. The next thing you need to understand is going to be the exchange. Okay. Now the exchange is where you find altcoins. And an altcoin is simply to us and easily explained as a coin that can be that can only be traded from crypto to crypto. It cannot be converted back to fiat currency for the most part. Okay, so you already have to have one of the base coins, either Ethereum you have to have, or you have to already have Litecoin, or you already have to have Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin in order to get a hold of one of the altcoins. Okay, so once you've uploaded and got your base coin ready to go, then the next thing you want to do is you want to come here to Binance, which we feel is the easiest exchange to navigate right now. So we're only pushing people towards Binance. They did stop their registrations for a period of time because they had an influx of users coming in all at once, but they are back up and running. And if you run into any troubles, you can let us know and we'll give you an alternative for the meantime, but everything should be good there. And then you really just want to set up this account in full. You want to go through any of the security things that they tell you to set up. One of them being authentication, and then they may ask you for some other things in here. So we did Google authentication here, which we use a program called Authy, which we'll leave the link of that. We'll leave that in the video below, but it's really just another way to secure your account so no one can withdraw or move money or do anything like that without going through and authentication. The simplest one to do is just make it SMS, use your phone number, and anytime something happens with your account, they'll send an authentication straight to your mobile number, same as the banks do, and they'll confirm that it's you that's trying to make that withdrawal or that transfer and go from there. Okay, this one's very easy to use. So the next step, once you get your base coin, we want you to, at this point, transaction fees are very high in Bitcoin to move. So we're suggesting that you use Ethereum to move across. So when you go into your Coinbase, you should buy Ethereum. You have a buy and sell button in here. Let's log back in. It just took too long to move. But let's go to the buy and sell. And then all you do is you can buy Ethereum. It's connected to your bank. You select how you want to move it, whether it's a debit card or whether it's coming from a bank account. Debit cards go faster. Bank accounts take time. Okay. You buy your Ethereum. Once you get your Ethereum, it's going to head over to your wallet. Once you get to your wallet, over here in your accounts, all you have to do is hit the send button when you're ready. That send button will bring up a form simply. I'm going to show address. It'll bring up a form that's going to ask you about an address. Pretty simple. Okay. And that's why you need Binance. So you will take your Binance, pretty simple, and you want to deposit Ethereum into this account. All you hit is copy address, put it back in the send form where they're asking for the address, and voila, it begins to move. You hit confirm, go forward. We will be doing this live once we are into our next video, but we're going to break this video up in two just so that we can break down the information and that it's absorbable. You don't want to overcomplicate anything, but this is really the basics of Bitcoin. Once you have this process down, you're good to go. You're able to move in and out of the market. Okay. The next step from there is figuring out what you want to buy. A lot of people have asked us about Ripple. So anyone wanting to buy Ripple at that time, you just hit you find it. Let's say it's not at the top. You go search here. It's called XRP. You type that in and it'll show up for you. Okay. And you hit trade. And because we're using Ethereum, we want to trade with Ethereum. So we want it like this. It will automatically show us what we currently have in our account at any given time. So it makes it very easy for us to use. And really all we're doing is determining whether we're buying XRP or selling it at this point. To keep it really simple, you want to figure out how much you can buy by hitting the 100%. That's going to give you a number. Right now, we aren't able to buy anything because there's not enough in the account to buy one. It gives us a max amount of what we can buy. Once you figure out what you can buy at the market or even at the limit price, it really doesn't matter which one you choose on this point. We won't go into detail about the differences, but at this point, what you want to do is make sure that this number's here. It gives you an amount of what you can buy. And once you get that amount, you decide, you hit the buy button, it'll sell it out. And all you do from there is wait for your order. You'll get an open order here. It'll sit here in this area until the order's filled. And then once it clears, it'll switch over to order history and it'll tell you that everything's been filled for you. And then all you do from there is you're going back to your main screen. And this main screen tells you all of the coins that you hold, and it will outline the current value of your portfolio up here. Now, after this step really is all about storage of your coins. we have what we call a desktop storage. There's also a physical storage that you can buy. And all that is taking it from the exchange and putting it somewhere believed to be safer than having it in the exchange because of hacks and things like that that have taken place in the past, where exchanges have been hacked and everything on the exchange was lost. So if you want to do that process, we highly recommend that you first get this step down. You build yourself a good enough portfolio, and once that happens, you can take yourself to Amazon.com, and we have that listed on our site. You can literally come to our website here at jayandsonsadvisors.com. You can go straight to 3 steps crypto investing, and it will take you straight to the devices that you're looking to buy. At this point, there's only 2. There's a Ledger Nano, which may be out of stock. That's why the picture's gone here. And then there's a major one that this one costs way more because it can do way more, but it's not necessary unless you're a very big crypto person. You have a lot of coins that you manage daily. But really all this is keeping coins safe. So we're only going to go into this part after you've successfully developed your portfolio. You can go into that step, but we feel that Binance right now is very safe. It's very good to keep your coins here for now. Figure out what you're buying, what you have, because a lot of coins are not supported by everything. And so if you go off, start buying coins that aren't supported, you're going to have 9 or 10 different wallets that you have to go and set up. And that's what we don't want. So it's good to keep it here. Only deal with money you can lose, so that if you keep it here, it's okay if anything goes wrong. But after this step, and after you have these movements down and you're okay with these movements, you can then move into a desktop or a physical type storage if you want to move your coins away from the exchange. Okay, so we'll save that for another video where we'll explain that in depth and sort of go over some of the more popular ones and how you can do that. But in general, guys, this really is cryptocurrency. In general, it's a new market, sort of like the internet mixed with finance and investing. We have, we track these things the same way you track foreign currency. There's charts and movements and ups and downs and all kind of things in this that mimic very close to the stock market, mimics very close to trading trading foreign currency or foreign exchange currency. This is really no different. The risk in here is understanding what you're investing in and who you're investing in. Okay, and we'll also go into that next because we have something that you may want to take advantage of. However, it's not released to the U.S. because the U.S. are starting to put regulations around certain types of platforms. So new platforms are steering clear of the U.S. and locking them out of any of the potential gains that they can make. However, we're still showing people and letting people know that it's out there, and then you can make a decision from there as to if it's for you or if it's not for you. But without further ado, we're going to close this video out and try to keep this where it is. If you need any help, if you still need more explanation, if there's more that you need from here, we're here to help. We're here right here at jayandsons.com. We have our own Facebook. You can get in contact with Brett. He's always on the line with me. He can get to me very, very quickly and generate any questions and get them answered pretty quickly. So at this point, you have everything we have as far as how this market works. And with everything in us, we wish you guys continued success, prosperity, and abundance. This is Paul K. Dunn, and I hope you have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.